We live in a time where everything screams for attention. Amidst the constant noise about what it takes to stand out, be noticed, or have a voice, we forget how powerful silence can be. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. They understood that there is enormous power in stillness, a power that needs no words to make itself felt. Think about walking into a room full of people. You don't say anything, you don't impose yourself, but everyone feels your presence. It's not because you speak loudly or dress flashily. It's because your posture, your calmness, and your self-awareness convey something strong and true. It's as if your presence speaks for you. This is not a myth, nor is it just an ancient philosophical teaching. It is something that is entirely possible to cultivate today. A real skill that anyone can develop. Being someone who asserts themselves without having to say a single word. We're about to dive into the heart of what we call silent attraction, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. This is about more than just making a good first impression. It's about leaving a deep, natural mark, as if it were part of who you are. If you've ever felt overwhelmed in a noisy world where everyone tries to stand out by shouting louder, now is the time to discover how silence, when lived well, can say more than 1,000 words. Together, we'll reveal the secrets to becoming naturally magnetic, someone who effortlessly commands attention by mastering the ancient art of Stoic charisma. If this journey we're on together, immersing ourselves in silence and wisdom, resonates with you, I have a simple free request. Click the subscribe button. And remember, if at any point in your life you have felt different from the majority, know that this message was made exactly for you. Don't skip any part of this video. You are the exception we've been waiting for. How many times have you hidden your true thoughts? Have you suppressed your interests or even changed your mind just to fit in better? We've all been there at some point, but Stoicism invites us firmly and gently to return to our truest path. He reminds us that the most powerful and endearing quality we have is authenticity. When you are honest with yourself, when you act in accordance with who you really are, you are in tune with your essence. And that deeply touches those around you. It's as if, without saying a word, you are saying, "This is me, no masks, no apologies." And yes, this truth has a magnetic impact. But let's dig deeper. Being yourself means accepting your uniqueness, your passions, and even your vulnerabilities. It means standing firm in your values, even when the world tries to pull you in another direction. It means finding peace in your own skin, recognizing that your authenticity is your greatest treasure. Remember the Stoics. For them, virtue was the most precious commodity. Wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance were not just words, but principles that guided one's entire life. Living by these virtues, guided by your own moral compass, not only makes you a more respectable person, it also brings you closer to a state of inner peace and true happiness. But how do you start on this path? It all starts with looking within. Take some time to reflect on your values, your passions, and your limits. Ask yourself, what truly makes me feel alive? What inspires me to keep going? And how can I align my actions with the true self that lives within me? Once you have these answers, take the courageous step of showing the world who you really are. It's not about perfection or pleasing everyone. It's about being yourself, authentic, consistent in your words and actions, and showing up every day as your truest self. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "Stop arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In our context, swap man for person, and the essence remains powerful. Stop wasting your life trying to figure out what other people find attractive or popular. Instead, embrace your authenticity. Live your life in your own unique way. Let your truth shine through without fear. In a world that insists on molding everyone into the same mold, being yourself is a superpower. It's what makes you stand out in a quiet but powerful way. And all of this, the way you present yourself to the world, the way you walk, the way you dress, the way you look, tells a story, even without words. Stoicism was never about denying the material world or ignoring appearances. Instead, it teaches us to live with purpose, including when it comes to how we express ourselves through our style. Stoicism teaches us the value of authenticity and simplicity. It invites us to focus on what really matters, including our style. This doesn't mean you have to adopt a minimalist look or stop caring about fashion. It does mean making conscious choices, choosing clothes and accessories that reflect who you really are. Your style should reflect your values, your personality, and the roles you play in life. Instead of mindlessly following passing trends, it's best to wear what makes sense to you. You know that outfit you put on that you feel represents you. That makes you feel more confident, more at ease, maybe even stronger. This happens because your external image is in tune with your internal self. And this harmony is powerful. You stand out, not because you're flashy or over the top, but because you're at peace with who you are. This shines through even in silence, but style goes way beyond your clothes. It involves the way you style your hair, the accessories you choose, and even how you move through the world. Every detail is a small brushstroke of the masterpiece that is your identity. Stoic wisdom reminds us that these choices should be made with intention. Don't wear something just because it's trendy. Ask yourself, what does this piece say about me? Does it convey my values? Does it truly represent me, or am I trying to fit into something I'm not? Personal style isn't fixed. As you grow and go through new phases, your style of dressing may change too, and that's perfectly normal. The important thing is to stay true to your essence, allowing what you wear to evolve along with your inner journey. When style grows with you, it's not just about appearance, it's a silent expression of who you really are. It's amazing how we can communicate without having to say a single word. Our posture, our gestures, and even the way we walk around a room convey clear messages to the people around us. Stoicism, at its core, teaches us to develop awareness and control, not only of the mind, but also of the body. This philosophy reminds us that what we express physically is a direct reflection of what we carry inside. Therefore, when we talk about body language from a Stoic perspective, we are not talking about forcing poses or trying to appear as something we are not. We are talking about alignment between the interior and the exterior, about coherence between our feelings, values, and behaviors. A simple example is posture. Standing with your shoulders squared and your head held high isn't just a way to appear more confident. It's a physical gesture of self-respect, a sign of dignity, a core value within Stoicism. When you adopt this posture, you're telling the world, and especially yourself, that you're someone who respects yourself and deserves to be respected. This kind of firm, authentic presence naturally attracts others, because the confidence that comes from within is quiet but deeply felt. This confident posture creates an aura of approachability and confidence, but it doesn't stop there. Facial expressions, the warmth of a genuine smile, the sincerity in a look, all these body language details communicate much more than we realize. They fill the silent spaces between words, making people feel welcomed, seen, and understood. A simple, genuine smile can break the ice and soothe even the most closed hearts, and a sincere, unwavering gaze can create a connection as deep as a long conversation. Stoicism invites us to be present, fully present, and that includes being aware of how we use our bodies to communicate with the world. Being truly present means paying attention to how we physically engage with others. It means ensuring that our body language is a true reflection of what we feel and want to convey, whether that means showing empathy, openness, or a willingness to connect. This awareness opens the door to more genuine relationships based on mutual respect and trust. But how can we put this into practice based on Stoic principles? It all starts with self-awareness. Observe how you behave in daily interactions. Are you truly present, or are you just reacting automatically? Are your gestures receptive, or do they create distance? Being attentive, truly attentive, is an exercise that requires intention. Allow your body to express its truth without masks or artifice. And look how everything is connected. Even the perfume you choose is part of this silent presence. More than just an aesthetic choice, the fragrance you wear can become a personal brand. A well-chosen scent has the power to awaken memories, create sensations, and even shape the image people have of you, without a single word having to be said. Stoicism teaches us to live with intention, and that goes for even the seemingly small details, like choosing a perfume. Choosing a fragrance shouldn't be about following trends or impressing with expensive brands. It's about aligning your scent with who you really are and the impression you want to leave on others. Perfume is a subtle but powerful form of non-verbal communication. When chosen carefully, it becomes a reflection of your inner self, your values, your mood, and even your ambitions. A unique scent leaves a mark on the olfactory memory of those who cross your path, functioning almost like an invisible signature that says, "It's me," without having to say anything. This choice requires presence and awareness. It involves understanding which fragrances suit you, how they adapt to your skin, the places you frequent, and the image you want to convey. Do you want to convey a sense of calm and confidence? Perhaps a light perfume with fresh notes. Do you prefer to leave a bold impression? Then perhaps something woody or spicy. The important thing is that the scent truly represents your essence. Just as living in accordance with one's nature is one of the pillars of Stoicism, choosing a perfume that matches your identity is also a form of coherence. What's more, the Stoics valued moderation, and that applies perfectly here. It's not about invading other people's senses with an overly strong fragrance, but about leaving a light presence, almost like a whisper that lingers in the air after you leave. That's what true silent impact is, a subtle but unforgettable trail. In the same way that our Stoic actions speak for us, a good choice of perfume can say a lot, even in the most absolute silence. In an age dominated by instant messaging and shallow digital interactions, good manners have become a rare and valuable bridge back to genuine human connection. But when it comes to manners that delight, that truly resonate with someone, we're going beyond simple gestures like saying please and thank you. We are talking about the natural elegance in our attitudes, the way we relate to others with presence, respect, and intention. Qualities that directly echo the teachings of Stoicism. Stoic philosophy, with its focus on virtue, self-mastery, and empathy, aligns perfectly with this type of charming behavior. It's not about following social rules just for the sake of appearances, but about authentically embodying kindness, consideration, and respect. When we act this way, we create a kind of quiet but powerful presence, an energy that naturally draws people to us effortlessly. Think about the difference it makes to be truly present in a conversation, to truly listen without checking your phone or thinking about your next response. This undivided attention sends a clear message. You matter, and I am here for you. This kind of presence, so valued by the Stoics, is rare and impactful. In a world that is often distracted, it stands out as a quiet form of care and respect. Stoicism also teaches us about empathy, not just as a feeling, but as a practice. When we offer genuine support, a helpful gesture, or a comforting word, we are living one of the most beautiful expressions of Stoic philosophy. Simple acts of kindness and active listening not only feel good to the recipient, but they also spark a natural connection. These are gestures that bring people closer, warm them, and strengthen real relationships. And good manners go beyond the basics. They manifest themselves in the little subtleties, how we behave at the table, how we speak empathetically, how we respect others' space and time. These details, when guided by mindfulness and sincere intention, elevate any interaction. Stoicism does not invite us to withdraw from the world, but to engage with it with wisdom and awareness. Developing these social graces is not a sign of weakness or rigidity. It's a sign of caring, that we care enough to act with kindness and consideration. In times of superficial interactions, being truly present is an act of courage and awareness. And surprisingly, that's exactly what Stoicism teaches us, to live in the moment with depth, intention, and virtue. Stoicism reminds us to focus our energy on what we truly have control over and let go of what we don't. When we apply this principle to our relationships, it invites us to offer people something rare, our undivided attention. This means being there, letting go of worries about the past or fears about the future. It's saying with presence, you matter, and there's no place I'd rather be right now. This kind of attention is powerful. It can transform an ordinary conversation into a memorable moment. Being present goes beyond being physically present in a place. It's about listening with your heart, listening not just to respond, but to deeply understand what the other person is trying to communicate. Think about the difference between talking to someone who is distracted and constantly checking their phone, and someone who is there, looking you in the eye, paying attention to every word. The latter type of presence creates an authentic human warmth, and that today is magnetic. But how do you develop this presence in a world that is constantly competing for our attention? It all starts with mindfulness. This practice involves being aware of your thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without judgment. When you notice your mind wandering, gently bring it back to the present moment. Like any other skill, this takes practice and patience, but it's worth it. Stoicism also invites us to appreciate the beauty of the present moment, to see each moment as a gift. Even the briefest encounters carry the potential to teach us something, to connect us with others, to grow. And there is one more essential aspect of this true presence: vulnerability. Being present also means being open. It means letting others see us as we truly are, without masks. It means creating space to connect soul to soul, letting go of the need to appear perfect. This openness may seem scary, but it is actually one of the purest forms of strength. It builds bridges, breaks down barriers, and paves the way for deep, real, meaningful connections. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches us the value of silence and moderation. Not everything needs to be said. Sometimes less is more. There is power in choosing wisely what to share and when. It is not about hiding who you are, but about preserving the parts of yourself that deserve to be revealed only at the right time, to the right people. This self-control creates an aura of natural mystery, and people sense it. They approach you not out of superficial curiosity, but because they sense there's depth behind your gaze, and they want to find out more about who you really are. Stoicism, with its focus on internal reflection and personal growth, invites us to value developing our character over seeking external approval. This view connects perfectly with the idea of cultivating a degree of mystery about who we are. By not revealing everything right away, we give others a chance to get to know us little by little, to go beyond the surface. It's a silent invitation that says, there's more here than meets the eye. This doesn't mean we should hide our essence or create a facade. Quite the opposite. It's about allowing our depth to emerge naturally, at the right time, in layers. Think of two books. One that gives away the whole story in the first few pages, and another that reveals its secrets little by little, keeping you engaged. Which of these captures your attention the most? That's how it is with people. When we leave space for others to discover who we are, we create richer connections with true meaning. This touch of mystery can transform a simple conversation into something engaging. Each exchange becomes a chapter, an opportunity for discovery. And the more someone feels that there is something true and yet unsaid in you, the more they feel drawn to that depth. But how do you maintain this balance between openness and mystery? It all starts with awareness. It's important to reflect on what we share and why. Are we expressing ourselves with purpose, or are we just trying to fill the silence? Are we giving in to the pressure to share everything, as if that will make us more accepted? Stoicism values self-control, and it's essential here. Knowing when to speak and when to remain silent is a form of wisdom. It is better to nurture authentic connections, built with calm and mutual curiosity, than superficial relationships driven by the urge to expose oneself. Maintaining a certain mystery is also a way of respecting our inner world. Some memories, dreams, or feelings are so precious that they deserve to be shared only when there is trust. When we choose the right moment, this gesture gains more strength and meaning. We are not hiding, we are taking care of what is precious to us. By practicing this approach, we naturally begin to listen more. Instead of filling every space with our stories, we learn to listen. And this active listening, this genuine interest in the other person, creates a sincere and enriching exchange. It is like a dance where both parties move with attention and respect. This genuine curiosity strengthens bonds and generates deep connections. And more than that, when we expand our perspective to other realities and cultures, we expand our wisdom. Understanding the way of life of different peoples, valuing their traditions, joys, and struggles is a way of seeing humanity with more empathy. Stoic philosophy encourages us to do just that, to seek knowledge, value diversity, and cultivate an open and compassionate mind. Stoicism teaches us that it is essential to develop an understanding that goes beyond our own reality. It invites us to look outward, to learn from the world around us, and to see the humanity that connects us to all people, regardless of culture, origin, or belief. When we cultivate what we might call cultural wisdom, we're doing just that, stepping out of our own limited perspective and putting ourselves in the shoes of others. It's like exploring a vast mosaic of human stories with their unique traditions, challenges, and joys. In doing so, we not only broaden our own worldview, but we also help break down the invisible barriers that so often separate us from one another. Think about how much richer a conversation becomes when you share something you've learned from another culture, or when you can communicate in another language, even if it's just a simple sentence. This creates an immediate connection, shows respect for the other person's experiences, and shows that you value diversity not as a distant concept, but as something alive and present. And no, this doesn't mean you need to have traveled the world or be an expert in history and customs. It's much more about having a sincere curiosity, an open mind, and a desire to learn from the different ways of living that exist out there. Each culture offers a new lens through which to see life, and this openness, so valued by the Stoics, is what makes us wiser and more human. And no, this doesn't mean you need to have traveled the world or be an expert in history and customs. It's much more about having a sincere curiosity, an open mind, and a desire to learn from the different ways of living that exist out there. Each culture offers a new lens through which to see life, and this openness, so valued by the Stoics, is what makes us wiser and more human. We become more compassionate individuals with a greater ability to connect with others in meaningful ways. But how, in practice, can we cultivate this cultural wisdom? The path begins with small intentional steps, reading books by authors from different parts of the world, watching films that show realities different from our own, exploring works of art and music from other cultures, and, most importantly, participating in conversations that challenge our habits and expand our way of thinking. Every new cultural experience, every bit of knowledge acquired, adds more depth to our worldview, and increases our ability to relate to others with empathy and respect. It's not just about feeling sorry or sympathy for someone, but about truly understanding their joys, pains, and experiences, creating a genuine emotional connection. Compassion is that silent bridge that unites our hearts, allowing us to see beyond our differences and recognize what we have in common, our humanity. Within Stoic philosophy, compassion occupies an essential place. It is linked to empathy, collective consciousness, and the idea that we are all interconnected. Stoicism teaches us to recognize these connections and invites us to look beyond our immediate circle, expanding our concern for society and the world around us. It's a clear call to action. Feelings are important, but acting on those feelings is what truly transforms. When we reach out to someone with compassion, we're not just offering words, we're offering time, attention, and genuine support. This kind of surrender, this movement of leaving one's own center to alleviate the pain of another, is one of the most magnetic and inspiring human qualities. It creates true, deep bonds, and it is impossible to forge something like this artificially. Of course, being compassionate isn't always easy. It requires us to face the discomfort, to stay by someone's side even when they're in pain, without trying to rush solutions or offer ready-made answers. It requires listening deeply, understanding before seeking to be understood. This kind of engagement can be challenging, but it's also incredibly enriching. By opening our hearts to the experiences of others, we not only ease their pain, we also gain new perspectives on the world. And this exercise deepens our own journey. Compassion also builds a sense of community, something so necessary in times when isolation is so common. It reminds us that we are part of something bigger, that we are not alone. Showing genuine care for people's well-being is what builds lasting relationships that go deeper than any superficial exchange. But practicing compassion also requires vulnerability. It means allowing yourself to be touched by someone else's pain, to feel it together. And as scary as it may seem, this is a strength. It reveals a rare kind of emotional openness and authenticity, something that brings people together in a powerful and genuine way. This authenticity is magnetic. It draws people in a way that no amount of superficial conversation could. And speaking of genuine connection, think about the power of laughter. While it won't solve all the world's problems, it has the incredible ability to transform the mood of a room and touch even the heaviest of hearts. Laughter carries a kind of quiet, light, and deeply human magic. At first glance, it might seem like Stoicism and laughter don't mix, but that's a misconception. Stoicism is actually about living a good life, cultivating presence, and creating genuine connections with others, and laughter facilitates all of that. The Stoics knew the value of joy. They understood that laughter, even in difficult times, can be a powerful form of emotional resilience. Laughter is a way to face life's absurdities and challenges with a light heart. When we laugh together, we find common ground, a simple reminder that despite all our differences, we all share the capacity for joy. In moments of genuine laughter, we are fully present, free from regrets about the past or worries about the future. It's like a mindful pause, a celebration of the now, and that's essentially a Stoic practice, accepting what's outside of our control and choosing to live in the good moments with gratitude. Furthermore, laughter brings us closer together. It breaks the ice, dissolves barriers, and builds bridges. Laughing with someone makes us more approachable, more connected, more human. This fits perfectly with the Stoic ideal of community and interdependence. When we share moments of humor, we realize that we are not so different after all. We laugh at the same mistakes, feel the same fears, and desire the same joys. Laughter creates a sense of belonging that reminds us that we are part of something bigger. But how can you cultivate more of these moments? Start by taking life a little less seriously. Embrace the absurdity that it sometimes presents. Laugh at your own setbacks. Find humor in your little failures and learn to laugh at yourself. This doesn't mean ignoring real problems, but rather seeking balance. It means recognizing that both pain and joy are part of the human experience, and that laughter is also a form of healing. Look for light moments. Spend time with people who make you laugh, consume content that brings lightness, and practice the generous outlook that knows how to find humor even in the most common situations. In a world that often demands that we always be in control, laughing is a gesture of freedom. It is an act of silent rebellion that reminds us that despite everything, we can still find reasons to smile. Self-care goes far beyond a day at the spa or indulging in little treats every now and then. It's a conscious commitment to your own well-being, physical, mental, and emotional. In the Stoic view, taking care of yourself is not a selfish gesture, but a demonstration of responsibility for your own life. The Stoics deeply valued self-mastery and clarity about what is within our control. And this starts with understanding that when we are well, we can offer our best to the world. Taking care of ourselves is a way of honoring the life we have, the body that sustains us, and the mind that guides us. When we nurture our health and happiness, we create a solid foundation to act wisely and face life's ups and downs with more balance. Self-care, from this perspective, is a form of self-respect. And this foundation is essential for all of our relationships and choices. But this care goes beyond the physical. It also involves cultivating mental clarity, emotional stability, and seeking out activities that nourish us from within. Practicing mindfulness, reflecting on our actions, and investing time in reading, learning, or moments of silence are ways to strengthen our mind and expand our spirit. The most interesting thing is that this self-care creates a ripple effect. When we are well, we are more patient, empathetic, and present with others. We become better in our relationships, more effective in our responsibilities, and more generous with our energy. This is living the Stoic ideal of serving the common good. By taking care of yourself, you also indirectly take care of those around you. And how can you apply this to your daily life? Start with small, conscious actions. Eat well, move your body frequently, get enough sleep, and allow yourself time to rest and reflect. Set clear boundaries to protect your time and energy. Say no when necessary. Prioritize what strengthens your values and brings you closer to being the best version of yourself. We live in a society that values independence and freedom, but often confuses this with isolation. True independence, as Stoicism teaches, is not about being alone, but about having the confidence that you can stand your ground even in difficult times. It is the ability to make decisions based on your values, to maintain your inner peace, and to live according to what is essential to you. This kind of independence is powerful and quietly admirable. It shows a person who doesn't easily bow to the opinions of others, who doesn't need the validation of others to feel secure. It's the freedom that comes from mastering one's own emotions, letting go of external expectations, and having the courage to be who one is, even when that means going against the grain. But cultivating this personal strength does not mean rejecting connections. Stoicism also values community, mutual support, and genuine bonds. The key is balance. Knowing how to relate without losing autonomy, walking together without giving up your own essence. It is about building relationships that respect your freedom and encourage your growth. To do this, you need to know yourself. Reflect frequently on what you value, why you do what you do, and whether your decisions reflect what you truly believe. Ask yourself, am I following this path because it makes sense to me, or because it is what others expect? Develop resilience to face challenges without giving up who you are. And as we conclude this reflection on the Stoic art of presence and silent strength, remember that the truest connections often arise in silence. not from the absence of words, but from authentic presence. When you live in alignment with your principles, with courage, balance, and authenticity, the world around you begins to change. And people are naturally drawn to your calm, your clarity, and the depth of your essence. This journey is not about getting there quickly, nor about applause. It is about becoming. It is about the silent transformation that happens within those who choose to live with intention. If you have come this far, it is because you are also walking this path. And here in the Stoic state, every step you take is valued. Your curiosity, your presence, and your desire to grow make this community richer and more meaningful. If this conversation sparked something inside you, even if it's small, don't ignore it. Keep going. There's more to discover. Click on one of the suggested videos on the screen and delve deeper. Continue cultivating that calm strength that few understand, but everyone feels. And remember, in the silence of your actions, your life says everything that needs to be said.